Soon. I click on do not disturb here. All right. Yep. Sweet. Sweet. All right. We are in now. We are back. Have you seen what is going on in England with their nonsense regarding freedom of speech? Let's talk about some things, because this is not just some conspiracy theory that has been running around in the interwebs for quite some time, beginning with our boy over at InfoWars that I know everyone loves to hate, but I don't know, he seems to have been right all along with the leaders that be, the world leaders that be, the powers that be are attacking our freedom of speech. And starting, I wouldn't even say starting, but look at London's Metropolitan Police Commissioner, who threatened to charge foreigners amid the UK's ongoing, I'm going to use air quotes here, far-right anti-Muslim protests. He's charging them for whipping up hatred online, stating billionaire and ex-owner Elon Musk could face potential prosecution, saying we will throw the full force of the law at people, whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online. We will come after you, Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley told Sky News. The commissioner added that being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law, naming the likes of Elon Musk as potential investigation targets when asked about charging people on social media residing outside the UK. Well, more than 700 people have been arrested as of Friday of last week, with over 300 charged for their suspected participation in the anti-Muslim riots, and over 30 have been indicted with online crimes. These offenses consist of sharing footage of the ongoing violent riots or posting content that the Crown prosecutorial service describes as inciting violence or hatred. Now, Musk, alongside several other critics, accused the government of restricting freedom of speech and operating a two-tier justice system, while, where the white British suspects are punished harsher compared to the immigrants who were the ones actually, to be fair, breaking the law. He had posted, "Sure seems like unequal justice in the UK," Musk said on X, alongside a series of memes comparing newly elected Prime Minister Keir Starmer to a Nazi officer, which I don't like that. I don't like when people compare people to Nazis or to Hitler. But he did compare the British government to George Orwell's 1984 totalitarian dictatorship. Now, it's one thing if it was just like a one-off crazy conspiracy theory that the world leaders are coming after free speech. It's a one-off thing. The UK is saying this, but it's just rhetoric. They're not really going to go after him. But it's not. J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk have both been named in a criminal complaint filed by Algerian boxer Imane Khalif over alleged acts of aggravated cyber harassment. According to a report from Variety, Khalif, 25, has filed a complaint to French authorities for online harassment she experienced during the 2024 Paris Olympics. Nabil Boudi, I'm going to assume it's Boudi. I'm going to go ahead and call that Boudi. Nabil Boudi, the Paris-based attorney representing Khalif, confirmed that both Rowling and Musk are mentioned in the complaint, which was posted to the anti-online hatred center of the Paris Public Prosecutor's Office on Friday of the 9th of August. Stating J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk are named in a lawsuit, among others, Booty stated, adding that Donald Trump would be part of the investigation. Trump tweeted, so whether or not he is named in our lawsuit, he will inevitably be looked into as part of the prosecution, end quote. If the prosecutor's office charges anyone under the statute, it could call for 2 to 5 years in prison and tens of thousands of euros in fines. Many accuse Khalif of being a man, get this, regardless of the fact that she was born female, is listed as female in her passport, and has never identified as transgender. Now, that part I want to dive into a little bit here, because it says that she was born female. Now, we all know in today's day and age, you can change your birth certificate. I'm not saying this person did. I'm saying that we know for a fact nowadays you can change your birth certificate so it shows that you were born something other than what you were actually born with. Says she's also listed as female in her passport. Well, I mean, your passport, you can change that pretty easily. And it's never identified as transgender. Well, you don't have to identify as transgender to still be not what you say you are. You don't have to identify as anything. Why do you have to identify as anything is the question. Why do transgenders have to identify as transgender? That just means you're transitioning from one gender to another. Why identify at all? Just say, I just don't identify, if you want to be honest about it. But here's the thing. This is my issue all along with this boxer person. I think we need to go back to the basics when it comes to male and female sports. We'll jump back into the topic of the fact that, they're coming after free speech in a second. But I just want to let my voice be known here, because we haven't talked about this at all. I didn't bring it up at all because I honestly didn't know what to say. I just feel like it's such a crazy story to even be talking about it. But now that they're going after people for online hate, I gotta say, now I gotta talk about this. So this is my view on it. We need to go back to, you're gonna have to do a blood test. I shouldn't say that's where we're gonna go back to. I'm not quite sure we did that before, but it's the world we live in now. You're gonna have to go back to getting a blood test done. You have to do a physical anyways for the sport. You're gonna have to get your blood tested anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and test you. What are your chromosomes? XY and XX. That's it. Those are the only two genres of sports. I don't care what you identify as. I don't care. We can just make this very easy. Do you have XY chromosomes? All right, cool. You're in the XY games, the XY sports, XY teams. That's you now. I don't care how you identify. I don't care what body part you have, because again, I could be born with XY chromosomes, have a male genitalia that is chopped off, inverted, and then turn into or identify as a woman, right? Does that make me a woman? No, of course not. Of course it doesn't. Let's be very honest about this. Your body parts don't make you who you are. It's your freaking chromosomes. XY chromosomes, XX. Simple as that. Let's just go back to that. That's how I feel. You can be mad at me all you want, but the only people who are going to be mad at me about me saying that are the weirdos out there who are pushing for this weirdo reality where we can go after people from France. This lady's not even from France. She's from Algeria. This person, it, they, them, is from Algeria, going to the Paris Public Prosecutor's Office, putting in a complaint about a British person and an American person. What? In what world? In what world do we live in where you could do that? That's insane to me. So what they're saying, this prosecutor Booty explained that the lawsuit was filed against X to ensure that the prosecution has all the latitude to be able to investigate against all people. And that although the complaint mentions names, Booty says, what we're asking is that the prosecution investigates not only these people, but whoever it feels necessary. If the case goes to court, they will stand trial. While the lawsuit was filed in France, Booty added that it could target personalities overseas, and prosecutors can make requests for assistance from other countries. If you thought that anyone out there saying that there's going to be a world court, a world government that's going to come after your freedom of speech, and they're going to force you to abide by this world law, you would say that they were crazy. You would say that they're conspiracy theorists. You would call them freaking Alex Jones. You say, oh, you spend too much time on InfoWars. Here it is. Here it is right in front of you. And many of us saw this coming. Many of us knew this was going to happen. Many of us have been saying all along that the United States is giving up our own sovereignty to a world government. We're doing that. We were already doing that with our health. When it comes to vaccines, when it comes to vaccine passports, when it comes to TSA, being able to travel freely, we already knew this was happening. We already said they're going to have a one world government. Everyone said we're conspiracy theorists. Everyone said it. Yet here we are with an Algerian boxer born with XY chromosomes fighting as a woman in the Olympics, putting in a lawful complaint in France, in Paris, against an American citizen and a British citizen. And then also saying that since the American citizen owns X and these posts were done on X, what we're asking is that the prosecution investigates not only these people, but whoever it feels necessary. That's the quote. I'm just giving you the facts here on the Politically Correcting show. You make up your own reality, I guess, but I don't like this reality. We're gonna be right back at the WYSL station right after this break. All right, guys. Took the song to the post. What does that mean? Oh, the post. Okay, I'm getting better at this, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I apologize. I sent it at like 12:05. I realized I was like, ah. I know how those go. Yep. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll be talking to the people on the stream here. So we're on a break right now. For those of you who aren't normally listening to our radio show, I am taking it on the road today, taking it from the office, should I say, because I got a lot to talk about. To be honest, I got a lot to talk about, and I'm not quite sure if I want to have callers call in and really interrupt that. I guess that's a selfishness in me. I don't know, but I don't know. All right, we're back. Come back right now. All right, we are back from the break here. Appreciate the time that you're spending with the Politically Correcting show today. Quite a bit's going on in the world. We just talked about how potentially there could be a one world government that is going to have a one world court that's going to come after people for online hate and bullying. I'm just really tired of, you know what I'm really tired of? I'm going off script here a little bit, I guess. I'm really tired of seeing it happening and knowing what's coming and feeling like there's nothing that I can do to stop it. Like it's one thing to have a show and to talk about everything and try to bring it to air, trying to put light to darkness, trying to bring truth in a world full of just falsity. I just it weighs on you when there's people out there that want to label you as something that you're just not. I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist. I really just honestly feel like I see things for what it is, and it just adds up that there tends to be a group of people who control a lot of your world, that control a lot of this world. I feel like, what I feel like? I feel like Truman, the Truman Show. I feel like the character when he like kind of figures it out and he's like, what do I do now? Like, how do I get out of this world then? How do I get to the real? How do I get behind the curtain? And one of the things that I've been seeing lately is what I know to be facts and what I know to have been reported on before. And I go to research it and I go to Google search it. Google being, obviously the number one search engine. So it's just one of the easiest things. I can just go grab it and go. But many of you out there in the political pundit arena have also found that they've been scrubbing the internet of facts simply because they can. What you don't realize is that a lot of these media companies, let's just name one, I don't know, Newsweek, all right? Neither a good thing nor bad thing. Newsweek, what we used to do back in the day when we wanted to go read the history of news, you would go to the library. And you used to have, many of you don't remember this because you're just too young, but you used to have these little scrolly things that you would have a wheel. You just scroll through the news and then look at it on a screen or look through a freaking microscope type of thing, whatever it may have been. And you get to see the physical, actual news. So when you wanted to find a story, you had to physically find it, and you would have a copy of that. You see it in a lot of movies from the 80s and 90s. But nowadays they don't have that. Everything is kept on their internal hard drives. So what happens is when they want to change something, they don't have to alert anyone. They just change it because they have full authority to, because they can. They just go right into their hard drive, just like you have your, documents. You can go in there, just change it real quick, and then save it again, and it's there, and it just stays there. Now they're not only just changing it, but they're completely deleting it. They're just scrubbing facts off the internet. And I think it's for a far more nefarious plot than what most people can imagine. This is a topic I talked about with Lavelle before. It was at a fireside chat, and one of the things I think I talked about on the show one time too. But how I can easily see the most negative thing that can happen in a circumstance. I can see it very vividly. I wouldn't call that a superpower by any means. It's definitely to a fault because you see a lot of the negativity, and it definitely can weigh on you. And a lot of times it doesn't come true. You hope it never comes true. But it seems like what we're going through right now, it just seems nefarious. So I do want to take some time to go over through, some facts, talk them through, so that the kids in the future who are watching this on whatever the internet may be in the future, I'm sure it's going to be AI ran. Hopefully they can see what we went through before the inevitable fall of America, because that's what's going to happen. It might just be we're going through a season, right? We're in the fourth season. Maybe. I really hope that's what it is. It just seems like we're falling very rapidly though. And I think it's going to be due to the AI disinformation. I really believe it. Because remember back not that long ago, they were saying that Biden is more than healthy. He's at the top of his game. He's never looked better. He has all the energy of a spry young man. We all saw it. We all saw what they were saying. We all like, what are you talking about? We can see with our own eyes. You're straight up lying to us. We can see how old he is and how old he's acting. And then not only were they lying to us, but then the Democrats were getting behind him. They were refusing to acknowledge it. The mass media giants and all the politicians were saying, oh, those are just gaffes by the president. He just misspoke. He's been battling a stuttering problem all his life. Then a legal finding by Robert Hur came out. That was obviously due to his, stealing of top secret information, but we won't get into that. But he reasoned that at trial, quote, I'm going to quote him here, at trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview of him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with poor memory. In Hur's view, it would be difficult to convince a jury that they should convict him. By then, a former president, well into his 80s, of a serious felony that requires a mental state of willfulness. And how did the White House respond? They called the references to the president's memory, quote, unnecessary, inflammatory, and prejudicial statements that are unsupported, personal opinion, criticism. Now, I think all of us can agree that President Biden is unfit for office, but for many reasons. Number one being he's definitely going senile, but also remember the Democratic talking points that the difference between Biden holding classified info and Trump doing the same was that Biden reported it and then turned it over willingly. Well, I find that weird because Hur's evidence included an interview recorded in 2017. This is 7 years ago, in which Biden told a ghostwriter, quote, I just found all the classified stuff downstairs, end quote. So he knew about it 2017. He didn't give up the information. So that talking point lies pretty flat right there. He also said on recordings that Biden read aloud classified information from a notebook to the ghostwriter on at least 3 occasions. He literally gave top secret information away to someone who didn't deserve it. So it's not only he had the top secret information, but he gave it away. So not only is he unfit for office, but he deserves prison. The fact that the 25th Amendment has yet still to this day, he's unfit to run for office. We know this, unfit to run for office. Democrat elites pushed him out. But yet he's allowed to just continually to be the president right now. Why hasn't the 25th Amendment been enacted? It absolutely blows my mind. It shows just how feckless our politicians are, but how much they're willing to lie to us, how much the media gets behind them to lie as well. That's what really irks me about right now, is that we can see the truth with our own eyes. We can see the facts because we're not stupid. And yet, the media will come out and say, no, you're mistaken. You know what you're talking about. It's so blatant recently with Kamala Harris coming out and saying, we're going to fight to end taxes on tips. What? How are you going to blatantly say what Donald Trump already said? That's one of his platform pieces. And you're going to come out and say it. And ABC News came out with like a third-party analysis saying that Donald Trump and his, getting rid of taxes on tips is going to cost us $250 billion over 10 years. But then the same article regarding Kamala Harris saying they're going to take away tips for hospitality workers, whatever she say, hospitality. What did she say? Hospitality workers. That's what she said. That they were glowing about it. It was like the second coming of freaking Obama. They've already, I really believe that's why they're keeping her under wraps, because they are just wiping away everything that they could about Kamala Harris online. All the negativity. They're just trying to see how much they can wipe away over time. It's been over 3 weeks since she's done any type of interview. And this is where we are today, where they will straight up pee on your leg and call it rain. Let's jump into a break real quick. I got to pay some bills around here at the WYSL station. Make sure to like and follow. Go to the YSL station also. Go to the sponsors. Show some love to them. We'll be right back with the Politically Correcting show right after this break. 5-minute break, guys. Back after this. I can talk to you. There's no reason for me to wait. Get this out of my ear, so I'm putting this one. I don't know. How do you feel? I see Fred on there. I said hello. Well, Fred, I'm not in the studio, so I can't tell him that you said hello. But you know, I don't know. Do you feel the same way? I feel as though am I going crazy for believing that what we are seeing in the news and what we are going through is just basically a setup to, I don't know, make us feel like we're going crazy? I don't know at all. But got a couple-minute break here, guys. So if you're watching this later on, you can feel free to just fast forward. When you see me put this into my other ear, that's when I'll be back on. But feel free to continue the conversation online. I'll give PGA Hope a commercial here. Put in front of the light there. PGA Hope is an entity that actually we have one in Western New York that helps veterans to learn how to golf. I think that's pretty amazing. I went and got some training from them. It's like a 6-week course. You go to a beautiful course. They train you by some like PGA Tour, not the tour professionals, but like the trainers, and they teach you how to play golf. If you know how to play golf, they teach you better ways. Like my drive has improved significantly, and at the end of the 6 weeks, you get like a dinner out of it, and you also play a game with the PGA Tour pro, whatever they are, you call them. So if you're a veteran, certainly PGA Hope, look them up on Facebook and join it, man. It's free. It's literally free. They feed you, they teach you golf. You get to play a round of golf. I can't rave enough about it, and you get some accoutrement afterwards. But they're amazing. Got about 2 more minutes. All right, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. I use StreamYard, yep. Okay. Okay, appreciate it. Oh, look at that commercial by Bobby D. The voice of garbage. It was a garbage commercial. All right, last spot. We're jumping back in. All right, man. I love me some Michael Jackson. You can play Michael Jackson whenever you want, Bobby D. Appreciate you guys at WYSL Station for allowing me the opportunity to talk my talk and to, I don't know, you guys probably get a bunch of calls back there talking junk about us here at the Politically Correcting Show. And I fully appreciate all the callers. Today, we're not going to take any callers just because we're doing a remote. And I really got a lot that I kind of want to get off my chest. And one thing, which I'm going to jump off course. I always have notes for the show that I'm going to do that day. And when I feel as though there should be a different path, I like to take that because it's usually for a reason, right? There's a story that I always wanted to bring up. I always try to bring it up at the end of a show, just because I kind of want to end it on, think about some kind of ending with a biblical message of some sort. Because most of I'm a believer and I do love my Bible. That doesn't mean that I am perfect by any means. It certainly does not mean that I judge others for not living up to the expectations of a perfect God. Trust me, that's not it at all. It's really just to kind of push myself to be more like what I read and talk about. And something, for some reason, the prodigal son parable has been hitting me hard this past, I'd say, week. Last week I wanted to bring it up. Monday I wanted to bring it up, and it didn't fit, so I kind of didn't. But I feel like I'm gonna push this through because somebody out there maybe is feeling some type of way. I feel as though somebody needs to hear this. The prodigal son parable is one of my favorites because it really shows to those people who believe themselves to be high and mighty, who believe themselves to be the purveyors of truth in their religion, that they are the people who believe the right religion and who know the Bible in and out, who really, the ones who are casting the stones, right? The ones who really, you feel as though when you walk into their church, you just feel the judginess of it. And this this matters to politics because when we lose all track of ethics and morality, I truly believe that's why we are where we are right now. Because when we can allow, or when we can kick God and prayer out of school, but allow drag queens and freaking cat litter boxes in the bathrooms and tampons in boys' bathrooms, like I think we've gone a little too far. And so that's why I believe that, religion, I hate to say religion, really, I really believe in spirituality. Um, but the Bible does give quite a bit of parables in the book, in the multiple books, that kind of guide us. And the parable about the prodigal son, where, he decides two boys. Out of the two boys, one decides that he wants to get his money now. He wants his inheritance now because he wants to spend it while he's young and he's free and he's going to get away from work and go live the life of partying and eating and drinking and doing whatever he wants. And after he does that, then a freaking famine comes around and he's then sleeping with pigs, eating with them. He was starving, and it finally got to a point where he had to get up and say, I gotta go back home. I have to go back and apologize to my dad. And because the way I'm living right now is just, it ain't it. It ain't it. And he went, and his father didn't even wait for the son to apologize. He ran and freaking embraced his son, hugged the crap out of him. He was so happy. He told his servants, go get all the food, go get the best robe, put the family ring on his hand, put the shoes on his feet, get the fattest cow we got, kill it, let's eat and celebrate. And when he says, my son was dead and he is alive again, he was lost and is now found, and they began to celebrate. That's not the point that always weighed on me. I always like to think about the other side about these parables. The good son. That's why I want to focus on this one. The good son, who the entire time that the prodigal son was gone and partying and feasting and drinking and having sex and this, that, and the other, the entire time that son was gone, the son was working and was living in servitude to his father every day. It never said he complained about it. It never said he woke up in the morning and was like, oh man, my freaking back is hurting. This sucks. I don't want to do this no more. It just seems as though he did what he was supposed to do consistently, diligently, every single day. Got up, got to work, did what was right. And when he heard the partying, he was out in the field. He came near the house. He heard music and dancing, and he asked one of the servants, "What the hell's going on here? What's going on over here? Why are they partying? I haven't gotten back from freaking work yet, and I hear partying and music and drinking and dancing. What's going on?" And the servant says, "Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fat calf, and we're partying for him. We're celebrating that he's back." With the son, how did the son react? It says he was angry and refused to go in. He was angry. And that's how I feel like a lot of people are living today. They're angry at the fact that there's people out there who are doing better than them, and they've been working their tail off, or they've been going to church, they've been praying, they've been fasting, they've been doing all the right things, but for some reason, other people are getting the benefits and the blessings of God, and they're not. What is going on, God? Why are you giving these people blessings? Why does it look like these people are having so much fun in their lives and they're able to just live however they want? And I'm over here freaking struggling every day, can't pay my bills, can't freaking take care of my kids, can't go on vacation, I hardly pay over the roof over my head. I hate work, go there every day. And they're looking at these people who are just living life however they want and getting the blessings, or so-called blessings. And that's where I want to really hammer down on. You don't know what people are going through, what other people are going through. You think that these people who are living life the way they want and just frivolously being in your face about let's say their sexuality and their partying and their everything. You see it all over Instagram, you see it all over Facebook, you see it all over TikTok. You have no idea what that person is going through. You have no idea if that person is going to end up in the pigsty, homeless, hungry, no more friends. You have no idea. And you also have no idea if at some point they decide enough is enough and they're going to turn back and go back to the life that they should be living, the one where their father is blessed to have them back. You don't know. You don't know the reason. You don't know the outcomes. You don't know what is actually happening in their life because all you see on social media is really just, obviously you only post the best of the best. You don't post the freaking bad times. So how about this? I want people to stop looking at other people and then thinking that you know about their life, judging by what you see on social media. And for all the Christians out there and all the people who are on your high and mighty horse that say, anyone out there who's not believing the same way I believe or living the life that I live, you can't just one day decide that you're going to stop and, turn to Christ. You can't just use God as a crutch. Yeah, you can. You literally can. He wants you to use him as a crutch. I think that kind of stems from what's the lady we talked about her, that she spoke at the RNC and she did the slut walk. She was a woman with tattoos on her face. She was very voluptuous. She dated Kanye West. I forget her name, but either way, doesn't even matter. They hated the fact that she was up there talking. They hated the fact that they had someone who had a slut walk in the Republican National Convention. They hated that. They said, how dare they bring her up there and onto a stage and have her talk? You dummy. Like, you don't think that she's hurting inside and she's trying to find a place to say, I belong? That's what really irks me about these. I'm not going to use the phrase Christian nationalists. I don't like that term. I don't truly, really, honestly believe in it. But the Republican Party does need to open up their eyes to other people who are seeing the light and who may not be all the way Republican, who may not be all the way conservative. But damn, y'all need some help to get some seats, man, because I know for a fact what Democrats are trying to do. And if you're going to turn away people who are at least seeing where you are and seeing what you're for and kind of align with you, I don't know, man. Maybe you guys should give them a break or her a break. I don't know. Someone out there was feeling that. We'll be right back at the WYSL station after this. This is the Politically Correcting Show. We'll be right back after this break. I'm not a Stevie Wonder fan. I don't get the hype. Yeah, that seems appropriate. That's a good choice. So you guys know way more about music than I do. I appreciate that. Thank you, Bobby D. He said I'm doing a great job. These old school sweet stripes, they're so good. The soft peppermint candy. Oh man, just melts. You're missing a Savick commercial on the air right now. That spot we're jumping in. Billy Joel, Modern Woman. I can't say I know very many Billy Joel songs, so. All right. All right, we got some Billy Joel there. I don't think I know that, Bobby D. Bobby D swore I was gonna likely know what the song was. I do not. It seems like it would be on maybe a Beverly Hills Cop movie or something. But anyways, We're back with the politically correcting show. At the beginning of the show, I talked about how there's going to be a nonsense that goes on in this world, and we're going to kind of not see it happening, and that it's going to be a more nefarious plot than what many can imagine. I said that it was going to be an inevitable fall of America, and I truly believe it'll be due to AI. And let's jump into that a little bit here. AI is, for what many don't understand it, it's taught by the internet. Like, it only learns by what is fed to it by whatever master it has. So each different AI is taught by different people. Like, it tells it, okay, I'm gonna teach you based off of Google. I'm gonna teach you based off of, you know, I don't know, schematics of whatever the hell they go for. But the thing is, when it comes to media, their media companies are suing AI companies because they're teaching them based off of their intellectual information. So they're saying you have to start paying us to use our media. So why would any AI company use media from a company that, or why would they pay for media from a company that's not aligned with the majority of what people believe in, right? So the funny thing is that we've seen, this is going to get, I know people are going to feel like this is getting nasty, or just bullying. I'm not trying to bully here, all right? But we've seen with the masters of the digital internet realm what they look like, right? They tend to be the same. I hate to use the word dorks, but nerds. People who are off to the side, who are misfits. Maybe they were picked on in high school, but then they went to college and they were somehow turned into feminists and legitimate allies in college by their, radical left protest loving professors. Why did they do that? I'm going to guess it's probably, I don't know, in order to get laid, honestly, but I don't blame them for that. You got to, when you are in that situation and you've been the outcast for so long and you finally get to college and you maybe have some people around you who don't care about, you wearing cat ears walking around and using a litter box, I guess. I don't freaking know. I can't even begin to understand. But the problem is those people grew up and now they've become the teachers, right? They've become the teachers that were taught by those type of professors. And they're seeing school as a place for social inequities to be remedied instead of, teaching our kids life skills, financial literacy, or even basic math, technology, reading, history, science. Not that. No, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on intersectionality. That's become the only appropriate topic nowadays that you won't get banned for. Prayer is banned. Teacher can't talk to kids about God. Talked about this already. You can have drag queen story hour, and you can have Satanist groups pop up in schools, and those are okay. But the division that we're seeing between children and parents are just so incredibly wide, and our technology is only making it worse. Kids don't respect their parents. You can say they never did, but at a certain point, they knew that if they didn't respect their parents, they're going to get their butt whooped, or they might get popped, or they might have to be put into the corner, or sent to their rooms. But today, man, these kids don't respect nobody, so they certainly aren't going to listen to their parents. And why would they, when 8 hours of the day they're allowed to be whoever they want, act however they want, because their teachers and friends at schools cannot say anything about it. They can't speak out against it, or else they're going to be labeled as a bully or, a bigot and be suspended from school. And those people who are too afraid to speak up, they feel like they're going to be ostracized from their friend groups, because what kind of person wants to be friends or associated with a bigot or a bully, right? You don't want to be associated with that person. So they shut up and they keep quiet. And they say, I'm just going to let that person live their life the way they want to. I'm going to focus on me. And now we have a whole generation of kids who don't know anything other than be who you want, act however you want. And then I feel as though we have this other group of kids. And I'll be honest, I believe it's mostly boys who are super frustrated because they're not being heard and their voices are being silenced. So they lash out physically. And I think it's going to happen so much more. You're going to see more of the attacks in the schools and more of the attacks against these legitimate and the allies and the they thems and the cat peers and the freaking litter box in the schools. You're going to see more attacks on them. They're going to say it's an attack when really it's kind of like, we've had enough, like back off, get off our freaking case, yada yada. And then it's going to get physical, and it's going to get so I really believe it's going to just keep rolling to the point where the government's going to again try to institute a national police system. They tried it before. We're actually kind of doing it right now. If you don't know, actually we have RPD officers who are going through training with like the FBI. There was definitely a push for a national police system before, and it's going to happen. And they're going to likely allow the illegal migrants, immigrants, aliens, whatever you want to label them as, to be allowed in our military service so that they can earn their citizenship. I guarantee that's going to happen. That might be a Trump thing. I don't know. That might be a Harris Walsh thing. Who knows? But when you have illegal aliens who are in charge of protecting our country, and you've got a group of people who are now trained by the federal police who basically believe that everyone is a domestic terrorist, including, moms who were praying at the Planned Parenthood building. And then you got all these attacks by these young men who are just tired of the nonsense, who are just tired of freaking being trampled on every day emotionally. And they're not getting the attention from the girls. Let's be honest. That's what guys want. That's what young men want. They want the attention from the girls. They're going to act out. They're going to act out, and they're going to end up taking it way too far because they don't know how to handle their emotions. Government's going to come in. They're going to strip us of our guns. They're going to police our online posts so that they can prevent crime from happening. And they're going to silence dissenting voices. At that point, we'll have no guns. So there's no way of fighting back against a tyrannical, overreaching government and their enforcement agency. And not only no free speech, but the only information being allowed is by artificial intelligence, which is being taught by the only voices still allowed online. So the misfits who just simply went along so they could potentially, get laid or whatever, now run the social media world. We saw that with Twitter. We saw them get axed as well. Those are the people who will guide our next generation and who will push for silencing dissenting voices, who will push for preventing crime from happening by arresting people before they do something. That's going to continue unless we stand up and speak loudly with no fear of retribution or loss of anything in this world. The truth is what will set us free and bring light to a world filled with darkness. That's how we'll prevent this catastrophic collapse of our country. We have to stop accommodating people's feelings and always strive to speak the truth. That's our show today. Politically Correcting Boys. I am the Jose Pio. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll be back on Monday. Have a blessed weekend. Thank you. See you.